Studio 110.live. We're back at it. Dirty Harry in the captain's chair, ready to embark on another wonderful, amazing Friday afternoon show here at Studio 110.live. If you're not following us on the IG, never going to change up my style on this one, ladies and gentlemen. What are you waiting for? Go to Instagram, go to the search box, type in studio110.live, and do whatever you got to do. We got some great, entertaining videos up there. One of my favorites is Sir Mix-a-Lot. He was upset before we went on the air, that fine program that kicked off this amazing show at Studio 110. And, you know, I asked him to sweep the floors and get on his hands and knees and do some wiring here in the studio. And, of course, I didn't. But you can really see the other side to Sir Mix-a-Lot by going to our show's Instagram at studio110.live. You can see some great pictures of some of my personal friends in the music business. Big Snoop Dogg, who happens to be in town for the big show tomorrow night with Amigos at the Shower Center in Kent. Be out there for that big old production. I don't know if there's still tickets available or not, but you're going to want to be there. And you can see my buddy Macklemore and just a bunch of A-list celebs on our show's Instagram that my show producer Erica works very hard to always keep it updated and looking at making sure it looks super proper for all of our fans out there. So Friday afternoon, and looks like a pretty nice day outside the studio here on the 33rd floor of the building that we broadcast out of, the nicest building in downtown Bellevue, the nicest building on the east side. Traffic doesn't look too bad out here on the West Coast on a Friday afternoon. I'm sure it'll get worse, but it's a big show today. Let's kind of give a little rundown. But before we get a rundown, let's give a couple shout outs to some of the guests that were on the big program this week. We had the Oi clothing brand here in the studio yesterday. We had, who else was on the big show this week? Erica, my show producer. I'm going to have you on with me a little bit today. We've got some stuff to talk about, but who else was on the show with us this week?
So we started off the show with Oi brand that represented kind of like I would say the Seattle street fashion wear. Yep. So we had the entire team here, which is really great because we're going to be doing a giveaway next Friday with them. So that will be very awesome, as well as the summer comedy jam tickets.
Yep.
So that will definitely be really cool, you know, to kind of collaborate with a new designer and definitely incorporate that and them into it. Yep. And then we also had our team that we're collaborating with. So Nick and the entire Unity team, they've got some big news that they're still waiting on to hear. We have to make sure everything is approved before everything is released for that.
Well, they were in also to talk about the partnership with the show here.
Absolutely.
They're going to be coming on. I mean, most shows would die to have an opportunity like this, to have a whole team, come in and work with you side by side, as you being my show producer and assistant, to handle our video production and our imaging, our sweepers that are going to be aired during the show, and just a lot of behind the scenes. So we can just, it's a true testament to to how to keep relationships proper, to not burn any bridges, and just everybody's just a big fan of what we're doing here.
Absolutely. And then finally at 2:30 we had Black Label Magazine.
Oh, right.
So Black Label Magazine, they're based out of Portland, and we are going to be doing a collaboration with them. We'll be featured in their 9th edition. So kind of giving a bio on Dirty Harry, talking a little bit about the show, what it's doing, and then we have a surprise coming over. We're not going to say
because I heard you on the phone yesterday with Lincoln, who was on the air with me yesterday, and I you were speaking my language. I just happened to walk into the office and you were on the phone with him, and I just heard one sentence and then I walked out, just because that's the only sentence I needed to hear. And you mentioned something about we need to get Dirty Harry on the cover, the front cover.
You weren't supposed to say that
of the magazine. And like I said, I don't know if it's happening or not yet, but I just figured, you know what, I'm going to allow you to work your magic on the back end, and if we're on the cover or if we're featured in the main presentation of the magazine, whatever we are. I mean, like another prime example.
Dirty Harry, that was a surprise.
Well, most shows would love that opportunity. I haven't made any announcements. I'm just saying that I heard you say something.
Okay.
You haven't given me any confirmation yet, so I mean, it very well might not be happening. It may be happening down the road, and maybe changed up to cover or featured story, whatever it is. But I think it's important to be honest with our listeners and the people that are are watching the show to let them know just all the big things that are going down here. And I want to give you props before I forget here, because I have so much on my mind and so much to talk about today. All the hard work that you've been putting in here with Julianne and the entire team here for my official show's launch event that's happening a week from this Saturday. I know you've got a lot up your sleeve. You're telling me there's multiple surprises that are going to be happening that I honestly I have no idea what they are. I have no idea what they are. I know I've pried here and there to try to get it out of you, and you're holding to your guns like you should be. So I'm super excited about that. Nick was here yesterday on the air. And I know there's only a few amount of tickets that you can actually purchase, just because we have a capacity limit up here at Studio 110. So do I understand correctly then that those tickets will be going on sale tomorrow?
Yes. So the tickets will be available tomorrow, and you can find them definitely on our, we'll put them on actually Studio 110s, but they are very limited. So I would suggest getting them now. We do have people that are on a wait list. So those people will definitely go first, because they, obviously have the first at hand. Sure. But after, our limited tickets are sold out, unfortunately, you will not be able to gain access to the event. And it is only closed off to, only opened up, to the VIP members. The VIP members, it's a very specific group of people that are, who have been featured on the show and done a lot of things, and they're very recognized. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. And I don't know if you really touched base on everything that's happening, right? Did you tell everybody what's happening?
No, actually I haven't, because there's so much going on here at Studio 110.live's headquarters with the big launch event party for the show happening a week from Saturday, and we have a lot of things we're working on. But it meant a lot for me to have you on to kick off the show with me today, Erica. My show producer and right hand, because there's so much going on behind the scenes that I know some stuff we can't talk about. Yep. But there's some stuff that we can talk about. So with that being said, I'm glad that you filled me in properly on what's about to go down a week from this Saturday. And thank you for all your hard work. With that being said, usually I do this at the end of the show, and we will talk about it again at the end of the show today. But it is a Friday afternoon. We do have a lot to talk about, but let's just talk about just some things that are going on this weekend. So what will you be doing tonight?
So tonight, one of my best friends, Nini, and I will be attending and actually working for a firefighter hall party.
Great.
Located honestly like near Tacoma.
Okay.
So kind of a missions away, but we've done it before. We did their kind of winter welcoming for all the new firefighters and stuff like that, and it was so much fun.
That's really cool that you're doing that.
Really awesome.
That's really cool you're doing that. Yeah. And those guys don't get enough props at the end of the day. These guys are out there risking their lives, saving people. Everybody kind of jokes around that they just have the best life. They work 2 days a week. They just rescue cats and dogs out of trees. There's so much more that goes into being a fireman than that. People don't realize that 90% of the calls that the fire trucks go on when you see lights, sirens, and horns passing through intersections, they're medical calls. And a lot of times, different agencies have limited amounts of aid units, aid cars, ambulances. So they send the fire truck. So firemen really are out there. And every city has different call loads, but they are busy. Do we have a guest downstairs?
Yes, we have Guy Godfrey coming upstairs. So.
Awesome. So please go get Guy.
Perfect.
And our first guest, I'll be talking about a few things before Guy gets up here. But Guy Godfrey is the well-renowned owner of Trinity Nightclub here in Pioneer Square in Seattle. So
he just wants me to tell you that this is a good excuse day to be late because it's 4:20.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is 4:20.
Yeah, so he's like, what more perfect day?
Yeah,
to have an excuse.
I mean, he was probably he was probably watching the big show in his car and smoking his big bong and getting ready for the show. So let's get him up here as soon as possible. And there's a couple things that I definitely want to talk about because I know it's going to be a busy show today. And that's, of course, the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy, our big comedy jam going down here in the Pacific Northwest at the Kent Shower Center. That'll be going down June 30th. And I'm super excited about this. I worked with a couple my guys here on the team with me here at Studio 110.live, Pierre and Cristiano and Julianne and a couple of the other players here. And it was a lot of work to put this thing together. But you know what? We're all about bringing exciting opportunities here to the Pacific Northwest for great star-studded lineups like to laugh your ass off with icons of comedy. Tickets are officially on sale now, ladies and gentlemen. Real easy. You can just go down to the Showware Center. You can go to the box office. You can go online. You can call them. You can just do whatever you got to do to come out and have fun with us at the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy. And let's talk about just some of the star-studded players that will be on the bill for this one. We got Bill Bellamy. We got D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez. The ticket prices, everything that you've got to know. You've got to just go to Showware Center, hit up the website, Showware Center down there, and call them. Call their box office. Show up to the box office, and we've priced these out appropriately, so it meshes well with people's budgets in terms of what they can afford. We've got the high end, we've got the low end, we got the middle end. So it'll be a good, fun show. And who doesn't want to go to a comedy show? Who doesn't want to have fun and laugh your ass off and ultimately be in tears? So that's what we're providing here at Studio 110.live. And a huge shout out. I got so many shout outs I got to give today, and I'm going to try to get to all you guys. But my guy, Anthony Hamilton, the pro MMA fighter, about to be in the cage in front of thousands of people. This is my guy. This is my friend watching the big show right now. Shout out to you, Anthony. Thank you for watching the show, being part of the show the day before your fight. So check this out. He'll be in the fight, in the cage, under the spotlight, behind the cameras, doing what he does the best, being a pro MMA fighter. It's going down tomorrow evening, Snoqualmie Casino. I think it's sold out. I don't think you can even get tickets anymore, but he was on the show with me this week. He's already been in the studio with me twice. He hit me up on the text the other day saying that he wants to come back again soon. That's what I like, man. I love, hearing just true testimonials from guests telling me how much fun they had here in the studio. So it's a good feeling. It's a good feeling knowing that the guests are having a good time and they just want to partner up and be on the show and, connect their brands with my brand, Dirty Harry, and my show, Studio 110.live, and FutureNet, and everything combined here. So with that being said, I give much props to my guy, Anthony Hamilton. I have no doubt in my mind that you won't cause the most amount of destruction that you can possibly cause against your opponent, Randy. And looking forward to stopping by your private residence for the after party tomorrow night after the big old Snoop Dogg Migos show. Speaking of Snoop Dogg and Migos, they're in town. They will be at the Kent Showware Center tomorrow night. It's going to be a big show. Too bad Snoop Dogg wasn't actually here on actual 420. But you know what? Hey, he's here. But in terms of the actual show being on 420, that'll be going down tomorrow. I'm super excited. If you've never been to a live Snoop Dogg concert, you're definitely missing out. Snoop Dogg puts on an amazing show. He usually travels with his band called the Snoopadelics. He's got the horn players, the drums, the DJ. Hopefully DJ Battlecat will be on the road with him. When my boy Battlecat, he's on my wall here. I don't know if the cameras can pick up some of my pictures that I have here on the wall of all my friends. I got E40, Justin Britt, and Nathaniel Rawls from the Seahawks, my boy Battlecat, my guy Snoop Dogg, Macklemore, other Seahawks players, Sir Mix-a-Lot. So we're decorating the studio. We're continuing to decorate the studio with pictures and make it kind of a fun environment where people can come in and they can see pictures and have some fun. All right, what else do we need to be talking about today? We have a lot to talk about. So we talked about Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy. I had my show producer kind of fill me in on some weekend festivities. She's going to be doing a great cause tonight, working with the fire department, multiple fire departments, supporting their great cause. They definitely team up with the proper charities, charitable organizations around the Northwest, and I'm all about supporting great causes, especially when it involves the local agencies of the men and women that put on the uniform and sacrifice their lives every day to go out there and respond to all these 911 calls and do what they do the best. So much props to my show producer and assistant Erica Herrera for taking part in that. And we talked about good old Anthony's fight tomorrow. Snoop Dogg here, Migos here. It's 420. We do have some other stories to speak about today. I want to kind of get this out of the way. It's definitely a breaking, never a fun story to talk about, but I'd rather touch on it early enough into the show so I don't forget about it. But reporting here just a few minutes ago to TMZ, And Avicii. Avicii is a very famous DJ in the world. He's unfortunately passed away. I'm sorry to have to report this. I know this is probably gonna make a lot of people upset, on a 420 show, but it's not my style to leave out major music news stories involving large famous DJs. So we've seen this with DJ AM. Now we're seeing it with Avicii. Never a pretty fun thing to have to talk about, but as a seasoned radio host, I've had to do it. I've had to do it quite a few times. So it's never something that I want to do, but I do want to talk about the story real quick. Avicii's rep says Avicii died in the Middle Eastern country of Oman. Details surrounding his death are still unclear. Avicii's real name is Tim Bergling. He was born in Sweden. His reps issued the following statement. It is with profound sorrow that we announce the loss of Tim Bergling. Tim Bergling, also known as Avicii. He was found dead in Muscat, Oman, earlier today. Obviously, there's a big time difference over there. Local time, April 20th. The family is devastated, and we ask everyone to please respect their need for privacy in this difficult time. No further statements will be given. I think the last video he put out was "Wake Me Up." And what else? So what else are they reporting here? Avicii had struggled with addiction in the past. He was hospitalized twice for alcohol-related issues, though it's unclear at this point if that had anything to do with his death. He dropped some of the biggest EDM songs in the world, including Levels, Hey Brother, and his massive hit "Wake Me Up" with Aloe Black. He was nominated for 2 Grammys for Best Dance Recording in 2011 and 2012 for Levels and Sunshine. And he was just nominated for a Billboard Music Award for Top Dance Electronic Album. So I'm hoping the guys with the Billboard Music Awards will do a nice presentation to remember, an iconic member of the DJ squad that definitely made a lot of people happy for all the shows that he put on. Avicii retired from live performances in 2016, but before that, he was easily one of the highest paid DJs in the world, earning $28 million in 2014, and this is coming to us from Forbes as well as TMZ. His latest Instagram post was just over 2 weeks ago when he was in California. He had a home in the Hollywood Hills. When he quit touring, Avicii said, one part of me can never say never. I could be back, but I won't be right back. Avicii was 28. Rest in peace to Avicii, and man, my sincerest condolences go out to his family and to his immediate closest crew and his friends. Never an easy thing to talk about, and definitely not something that I would ever want to talk about on a happy day like a 420 and on a Friday afternoon out here on the West Coast. They're saying that just after the news broke around the world, a lot of other large figures came out to speak about this. Calvin Harris said devastating news about Avicii, a beautiful soul, passionate and extremely talented, with so much more to do. My heart goes out to his family. God bless you, Tim. Charlie Puth, wow, I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the man who really opened my eyes to what my productions could one day sound like. Avicii was a genius and a music innovator, and I cannot believe he is no longer with us. R.I.P. to the very best. So what we're seeing, which is very nice to see, we're seeing stars from all over the world come out on their social networking following and reflect on their relationships that they had with Avicii. So what a loss for the music business. Someone that's been in the music business for most of my life now. I remember having to talk about Aaliyah the night that her plane crashed, and of course when we lost Biggie Smalls and Eazy-E, and a lot of iconic members of the music business that are no longer with us. Prince, Michael Jackson. The day that Michael Jackson passed was definitely a show that I will never forget. All right, so let's transition here into happier times, and it is 420, and I told Erica this week that we can't ever ignore a big day like this, and let's get the appropriate players here in the studio to talk about 420. And I said, she asked me, she said, well, who would you like to have on the show? And I said, well, I have a lot of relationships in the cannabis business, but I said, let's take it to the highest extreme that we can. Let's get someone in here that's about nightlife because it's a Friday. And, people, hey, Friday nights, they like to go out to the clubs, and then let's get someone tied into cannabis. What a perfect marriage. What a perfect tie-in. So, of course, I wanted to re-invite my guy, Mr. Guy Godfrey, who I know has an extremely busy day today. It's 420. He's got, a massive empire that he oversees and runs and is so passionate about. It's called Trinity Nightclub in the heart of Pioneer Square. So welcome back to the show. It's been probably, I don't know, 2 weeks or so since you were on with me last, and I appreciate you continuing to share all your fun moments here at Studio 110.live with me. But let's kick it off properly right now, and I think the best way to kick it off, Guy, is happy 420 to you, man.
Happy 420 to you.
Thank you. Erica asked me this morning about indulging and taking part of that live on there, and I declined. I said that we're going to keep this show in professional standards, and we will not be doing that. I don't care what people do. After 3 o'clock or 3:01 or at 12:58, they can do whatever they want. But when we're on the air and when it's showtime, now you're a different story. If you want to smoke, you're more than welcome to smoke. But the staff here at Studio 110 will not smoke during this fine program. So with that being said, happy 420, and what's on your docket today?
Actually, Erica told me that you only called me because Snoop Dogg canceled last minute. That's
not true.
So sad.
Yeah, not true.
Snoop Dogg was supposed to be in this chair, and you had to settle for me. It's a sad day.
Yeah.
Studio 110 Live.
Well, I appreciate the good sense of humor. Yeah, yes. You never let me down on your comical sense of humor. So you never know. I may still call Snoop. His number's right here in the one of the phones. So may reach out to him. I think he's probably on a plane right now. So I don't want to.
I think he's on a bus. I think he has a bus.
I think I've been told he's doing more kind of Bowen Field approaches these days than. Being on the buses due to what's been happening recently with some of these artists on tour buses. But hey, we won't go back and forth on that. But let's talk about 420 and what's on your 420 to-do list today.
My 420 to-do list involves some heavy cannabis activities, like I'm not going to smoke on your show because I got to go pick my kid up at school after this.
Yeah. And I think you would be a safer driver on the road too. I mean, you probably have experience both ways, but I mean, I'm just
It's true. You should not smoke weed and then drive. You should smoke weed and then do things like draw or think or watch TV.
Yeah.
Or walking when stoned, perfectly safe.
Okay.
But driving, not a great plan.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, people do it. But I'm not one of them.
Yeah, good. So
especially not when I'm picking my kid up. Especially not then.
There you go. And you're a great dad for doing that. So it's been a couple weeks. Get me caught up to speed on what you've been doing. I know your plate is usually full. You got 2 phones there. And anytime you have 2 phones, you one's usually business, one's usually pleasure. But sometimes they kind of commingle together, right?
It's the legal trap phone.
Yeah.
I'm not. This is the nightclub phone, and this is the home phone, because when you have the nightclub phone and the home phone combined, you end up being a crazy person.
Yeah. So what have you been up to the last couple of weeks?
I just signed up a new shop in Wenatchee. I'm really excited about it. It's called Cannabis Provisions East.
Okay.
They're going to be the new plug in Wenatchee to get the fire.
Congratulations.
It's going to be amazing. We're going to dominate the Wenatchee Valley.
Maybe we can get the show to broadcast out there and go on a little road trip.
You want to broadcast from Cannabis Provisions East in Wenatchee?
I mean, it could be fun. I mean, it might be the funnest thing that they've ever experienced out there in Wenatchee. To have a live show out there to this level, to this production, to go out there. I mean, it'd be probably the funnest thing that they've had in the last 10 years.
Do you want to hear a weird small world story? Do you remember that Vietnamese spot named Ballet that was next to Sugar? I'm just across the street from Platinum, up on Capitol Hill.
Roughly, yes.
Yeah. Well, I found out that the dude that opened this shop in Wenatchee actually sold Ballet to finance opening his weed shop. And I was like, I used to eat your pho rice noodle soup all the time.
Yeah. So when is that project officially? Has it opened or?
No, it's May 1st. We're going to launch on May Day.
Nice.
It's going to be amazing.
And I'm sure it's been a lot of work to have to take the trip out there to get everything lined up for the big grand opening, huh?
2 weeks ago, I drove to Wenatchee just to bring my man a sandwich.
Really?
But you know what? It was worth it.
There's no Subway out there? Or?
It was a banh mi sandwich from
Seattle
Deli on 12th and Jackson.
And it stayed well. Would you have like a ice cooler in the trunk that you kept it in to make sure it didn't go bad?
I made sure it didn't get too hot. I did.
How did you feel about that? You know, being like a Mr. Uber, you know, food driver to take a sandwich 4 hours.
You know, it's not as cloudy in Eastern Washington, so whenever you can sneak over there, I highly recommend it. I was there yesterday, and it was beautiful. It was like 70 degrees out. I was sitting by the river. It was nice.
Yeah.
It's only 2 hours away from here, so everybody that's bitching about how crappy the weather is here, get in your car.
Yeah.
Drive to the other side of the giant mountains that are 45 minutes from here, and boom, sunshine.
Yeah. And that was one of my, you know, at the former radio station, you know, I'm sure you remember the good old iconic summer jams and, you know, out there at the gorge. And it was a great weekend, you know, great weekend. I mean, yeah, it's, you know, it could be 55 here and 81 over there, you know.
It's true. It's true.
So what else is going on in the on the cannabis side of the industry these days? Besides obviously opening up a new store in Wenatchee, and what any festivities, local festivities that you're aware of that you can report to today?
Did you see these deals? Deals, son. Did you see what your man Ian at Uncle Ike's is offering today?
Oh, he'll be on with me today. Yeah.
Oh my goodness. 10 a.m. $28 ounces. 420. He's offering a 4-point of joints. A 4-pack of joints for $3.
Wow.
And then later today, $3.08.
Wow.
They have amazing 420 specials at Uncle Ike's today.
Yeah. I talked to Ian a little while ago, and if Ian can't come on with me, I think Sarah, one of his assistants, is going to come on with me and report all this stuff, because Ian's my guy. And shout out to Ian at Uncle Ike's, and this is what you got to do.
$28.08. It's a brave new world.
And normally, what would that 8? Because you know, I
misspoke. $28 ounces.
Okay.
When I was in high school, $20 got you a gram. There's 28 grams in an ounce.
Right.
This is a bizarre world. Weed is cheaper than it was in like the 70s.
Yeah.
It's bananas. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like people like I'm a full-time caregiver for my father. He's paralyzed, has multiple sclerosis, right?
Okay.
And cannabis eases his symptoms.
Yeah.
It calms down his spasticity. It helps him sleep. It stimulates his appetite.
Good.
It really helps mitigate the symptoms of his condition.
Sure.
And he's in a rough condition. He's in a, you know, he's in a condition that is incredibly painful and will never get better. And the fact that somebody in that condition can buy their medicine for a fifth of what they're paying for it 5 years ago with no risk of federal prison.
Yeah.
That's a step in the right direction.
Yeah.
You know?
How often does your dad have to take it? I mean, obviously, you know, it makes him feel a lot better, and it's, you know, makes him sleep and gives him the proper appetite. Is he taking it? You know, is he using it every day, or does other days?
Yeah, he usually smokes at night when he gets into bed.
Okay.
Every once in a while, when he's playing a little online poker, he might blaze up a joint. You know, but for the most part, it's a nighttime thing. You know,
Great.
He tries to ease into, you know, some late night talk shows and followed by sleep.
Great. And like we were just mentioning earlier, because I'm interested to know this, and I honestly don't know the answer, Guy. And if you're just tuning in right now, I got my guy Godfrey here on the air with me, Studio 110.live. Happy 420 to everybody out there. We're going to do kind of a cannabis style show to a degree today, so we make sure that we're on you know, the proper levels and you know, proper illustrations, what everybody's all about today. So the price points that you just kind of talked about at Uncle Ike's, what normally, just on an average regular day of the week, what are those prices normally?
It's pretty common to get like $10 grams.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty common to get, and then, you know, you kind of multiply it by that. You know, like there's 3.5 grams in an eighth.
Okay.
So, you know, you pay anywhere from $25 to $45 for an eighth, depending on the quality.
Okay.
And then it just goes up from there, you know.
So people are saving a lot of money today by going to Uncle Ike's.
People are saving a lot of money by going. I mean, they're saving a lot of money by going to a lot of stores.
Yeah.
But they're always saving a lot of money by going to Uncle Ike's.
Yeah.
My man got some quality for quantity pricing.
Yeah. Are you also real cool with Ian? You know Ian for a while?
We're establishing a relationship.
Okay.
We have a lot of mutual friends.
Okay.
He seems like a good guy.
He's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's a friend of mine. So if there's anything that I could do to help connect you guys any further, please let me know. What other events are you taking part in for 420 today?
I'm throwing a 420 party tonight at Trinity. That's a little tricky because, you know, we want to celebrate the culture of weed, but it's illegal to consume it inside of a liquor establishment. So,
it is? Okay.
So, you know, they can consume it before they get there.
Okay.
They can consume it outside. They can, you know, whatever.
Are you spinning tonight? You're a DJ
I am
also?
spinning. I am DJing in the main room of Trinity Nightclub tonight.
What will you be playing? You know, Loonies, I Got Five on it? I mean, that'll be a power rotation?
I will probably play I Got Five on it by the Loonies.
Yeah.
I might play some weird remix of it, you know, because in the main room it's, you know, strobe lights and you know, high energy. So I might play some weird Moombahton remix of it.
What time do you step on the tables tonight?
I go on at midnight.
Oh, midnight. Okay. So you're doing like the last 2 hours, last hour and a half?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll go after hours tonight. We'll go till like 2:30 in the morning. So I'll probably play about 2.5 hours tonight.
How does that work then for like the liquor board side of the conversation? Because normally liquor stops at 2 a.m., correct?
Yes. We take the drinks away and leave the people.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know, a lot.
So does the whole bar have to be disassembled then?
No. We just have to have all the drinks off the floor.
Okay.
You know, it was pretty standard for everybody to just feed them drinks, and then turn the lights on and kick them out.
Okay.
And then it was just like, you know, it was a circus outside.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, we have all the security inside. We don't have any outside.
Yeah.
I'm like, how about we just keep them in here and let them kind of filter out?
Yeah.
And instead of having 600 people at the hot dog stand, we'll have 6,
yes.
you know, at a time.
Yeah.
And people that want to stay in here and dance off their buzz or whatever and, you know, chill out a little bit and enjoy the remainder of the evening can.
Yeah.
And it's worked out very well. We've been doing it for years.
Great. So usually your 420 party is a party that you just don't want to miss.
It's a pretty good party.
It's a pretty good party.
It's a pretty good party.
Good.
You know what I mean? Like, we've got big visuals in the club. You know, we've got LED screens on all the walls.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you walk into a room with a 130 decibel sound system and wall-to-wall, you know, 18-foot high walls of visuals.
Yep.
It's an experience, especially if, you know, you've eaten, you know, an 80-milligram edible.
Yeah. And the thing that I've always admired about, you know, Guy, my friend Guy Godfrey here, who represents his fine establishment called Trinity Nightclub in the heart of Pioneer Square here in Seattle. Pioneer Square, for everybody listening and watching out of the state, and for the international viewers, is an iconic, you know, nightlife destination. It's been around for years. It's called Trinity. And
we just had our 13-year anniversary last week.
13. It seems like it's been around longer than that.
I was a Bohemian before that. And I mean, really, like, it seems longer than 13 years.
Doesn't it? I mean,
dude, 13 years is a long time.
Yeah. But it just feels longer. But the one thing that I will admire, and I'll be very vocal about this, is, and you and I, we had this conversation before, is a lot of venues today, Guy, you know, you drive by them and they purposely, you know, create a long line outside of the venue to make it look like, you know, that's the spot to be. And we're not going to mention any names, but there are venues that do that. With that being said, Trinity, the line outside is for one sole purpose and one sole reason, because it's already packed inside.
True.
So, I mean, you're not just, you know, you're not stacking people up out there for, you know, a presentation, you know?
Yeah, I mean, you know, realistically though, I'm not going to talk shit about any of their operators because, like,
no, we shouldn't. But you know that there are people that do that though, and it's not packed inside.
Well, let me put it this way: there's been some operators in the past that I would have talked shit about, but right now, they're, as far as direct competition in the nightlife scene, there is some great people operating nightclubs in the city of Seattle right now.
There are.
I have a lot of respect and admiration, and
for my buddy Amir at X Stadium.
Man, Amir is great. Amir is a good man.
Yeah.
But you know, Foundation is good people.
Yep.
Q is good people.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like Lucky Strike is good people.
They're all great people.
They're all great people.
Yeah.
Stage is good.
Yeah.
The new VU that the guys from Stage are opening.
I heard about that.
Ooh, it's pretty.
Have you been inside yet?
I've been inside of it.
Let's talk about that.
My man Chuck Wang has given me a tour.
Yeah, Chuck's a good guy.
Dude, that place is gorgeous.
Chuck hit me up the other day. I had two of his DJs here in the studio with me. DJ So Sleepy.
Yeah.
He was up here the other day, and it was nice. Chuck just hit me up out of the blue and said, "Hey man, congrats on your new show. I love what you're doing, and it's great to have you back on. It's great to have Dirty Harry back on the radio here in Seattle." You know?
I saw that So Sleepy was DJing. Where did you set the stuff up at?
He wasn't DJing. He just came in as a guest. He sat in the position you're sitting right there. So
bad posture, the same position.
A little bit better, little bit better. I mean,
I'm a little hunched.
Next time I'll have to have a chiropractor come in to give, proper ways to sit in a chair. So,
if you had chiropractors while during the show, I would come more often.
You would?
Yeah.
How about
a free correction?
Yeah. How about if I had those the chairs that you see in the malls, the random malls that you sit in there and they massage you?
I got a massage at one of those in the Denver airport, and it's right on the corner of the busiest thoroughfare in the whole airport. Uh-huh. So 6,000 people watch you get a neck massage. It's the weirdest experience.
Yeah. I mean, you want to be more of a private surround.
Yeah, you're just sitting there getting rubbed out, and you just watch it. Well, no, you're not getting. Excuse me, getting your shoulders worked on.
Yeah. Well, you're getting rubbed down. I mean, you're getting rubbed down to a degree. That's all right. I wouldn't expect anything less from Guy. I mean, you just awkward. Say it the way it is. So, so let's go back and talk about the big 420 event tonight at Trinity. You're spinning. Who's opening up for you?
His name is Justin. He's a new guy. He's the resident DJ over at Tiggs in the U District. Okay. And we're gonna try him out tonight. Sorry, I'm getting text messages.
That's all right. Any worthwhile text to be talking about live on the radio?
DJ Danger Zone is text messaging me.
Tell him.
He's the tour DJ for LMFAO.
Cool.
He hosts the Mickey D's show on DJ City.
Well, tell him it'd be great to have him on the show. Tell him it'd be great to have him or LMFAO to come in the studio or call in.
He's...
Tell him you're live on the radio right now responding to business in relation to Trinity Nightclub. Normally that would never go down, but for Guy, we'll allow it to happen because, Trinity is one of the biggest nightclub venues in the city, and it's always nice to have the owner of one of the biggest spots here in the studio. So while you're taking part in that, if you need a few minutes, I can do what I'm good at and talk about the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy. Tickets are officially on sale right now at the Kent Shower Center. You can go to the box office. You can call them. You can hit up the website. We got a great star-studded lineup for this bad boy. Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho, Dion Cole, Ada Rodriguez. So it's going to be a great, fun event that's happening June 30th. So June 30th, and you never know. Maybe we'll talk to Guy about seeing if we want to. I think we're doing the after party. I don't know where we're doing it actually yet because I haven't got that far yet with the guys. It was enough work just to structure that thing into place. But
where is it at again?
It's at the Shower Center in Kent.
Shower Center in Kent.
That's where Snoop Dogg and Migos will be doing what they do so well on that stage tomorrow night. Kent Shower Center. So so that's so you got your guy Justin who's opening up for you, and then you hit the tables after that. Any other fun things going to be happening at the Trinity 420 iconic event tonight that we can talk about?
The Soul Gorilla Gentle Folks will be hosting the side room, the blue room.
Okay.
Let's see here.
Shout out to Soul Gorilla.
Shout out to Soul Gorilla. Shout out to Bryant B-Boy Worthing.
Yeah, B-Boy is always a great guy. Been around the business for a long time. Always a nice guy to run into in and out of the venue. Shout out to B-Boy and everybody about Soul Gorilla, and they're a great movement around here.
Yeah. They're wonderful people.
They're wonderful people. What else is going on at Trinity Nightclub for the 420 kickoff weekend?
We got dollar drinks from 9 to 10.
Nice.
Right?
All drinks?
Right? No, just well drinks.
Just well drinks.
Just well drinks.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like it's like a Senior Frogs kind of thing we got going on. We're trying to give people that resort sort of feeling.
Yep.
$1 drinks, like you're in Mexico, get the 3-for-1 beers.
Yeah. Yeah. and how many rooms do you have at Trinity? Is it 2 or 3?
Well, the name is Trinity because there's 3 rooms.
3 rooms. I thought. See, that's why I said 2 or 3 because there's the main room, there's the side room, and then where's the third room?
The third room is the Card Room Lounge. It's
gotcha.
an Asian-inspired room. It's actually a very interesting room.
Is that where you serve the ice cream?
No. That's over in the blue room. During the day, we have a sushi restaurant. We have an ice cream stand. But and it's full tilt ice cream, local produced. Organic ice cream. Well,
I don't really indulge personally in ice cream, but when I come down, you'll have to let me try some.
You don't smoke weed. You don't eat ice cream. What do you do?
I do.
Dirty Harry is not very dirty.
Yeah, no, it's a good on-air name for damn sure. But I do a lot of fun things on the side. But I'm very health conscious, and you can't blame a guy for being health conscious. One second, I have a guest that's going to be coming on with us right now. Do I have Amber Joy on the line with me?
Yes, Amber Joy. How you guys doing today?
Good. Happy 420 to you, Amber Joy. You're on the air here with Dirty Harry at Studio 110, and I've got my friend Guy Godfrey here on the air with us in the studio as my in-studio guest that owns Trinity Nightclub. I figured let's make the show today all about cannabis and honor the movement that consists of the whole 420 proper messaging. So Amber Joy is on the line with me, and Amber, just kind of give me a little. I know who you are, and you're definitely a staple here in the community, in the cannabis scene. So happy 420 to you. And what are you currently doing right now?
Well, right now I'm actually in my office. We've had a crazy week. Had a bunch of 420 events going on. Getting ready to head over to Willie's Reserve tonight. That's a big brand in cannabis. I'm excited to celebrate with them.
If you can talk a little louder, for me. Just talk a little louder. Thank you.
Oh, sorry about that. I'm trying to be a little because I'm in offices still. So we're just over here getting ready for 420 tonight. We've been hosting some events this week.
Great. Can you hear me okay? Do we have Amber Joy with us?
I don't hear her.
I don't hear Amber Joy. Amber Joy, are you with us? We may have to disconnect the line with Amber, and maybe she'll call back.
She said she's going to the Willie's Reserve party. You know who Willie's Reserve is?
I know Willie's Reserves. You'll have to fill me a little bit more though, if you don't mind.
Willie's Reserve is Willie Nelson's marijuana brand.
Yeah. And that's available at through my buddy Alejandro down at Diego.
Ah,
yeah, yep.
Diego Pellicer, yes.
Yep. So he's got that. And then what? Snoop Dogg has one too. I don't know the name of Snoop's line, and I don't even know if it's available. I think it's only available maybe in California.
I don't know either.
But Willie's line is definitely. I think it's available nationally, all over the country.
Yeah.
So hopefully Amber Joy will call back in here. We must have lost connection with her. Sometimes that happens when people call in via cell phones or they're in bad coverage areas. But you were talking about other.
She runs CannaCon, right?
Yep.
CannaCon is a pretty cool event.
Yep. You were talking about other events though happening for 420 this weekend.
I mean, obviously, I wish I could go to the wellness retreat, but I got to go to work. I'm going to be at Trinity Nightclub again tomorrow night. You probably feel like, I mean, it's tough to take vacations, It's true.
as a venue owner, huh?
It's true. I got to feed the family.
Yeah. It's tough to be able to just, take kind of leave. And I would imagine if you wanted to take a vacation, it's probably a Sunday to a Thursday, huh?
Yeah. I mean, it sucks that I can't go to stuff on Saturday night, but at the same time, we make all of our money in like 8 hours a week, so I should probably be there for those 8 hours.
Yeah, right. And I know you have a good staff there. You have good people that obviously are underneath you that report to you. But still, you want to be there. And most venue owners aren't DJs, so you bring a lot to the table. You've got multiple responsibilities, multiple hats that need to be worn. Correct?
You know who's going to be throwing a 420 party tonight?
Who's that?
Zach Lavine.
Oh, shout out to my guy Zach. Zach's been a friend for a number of years. And where's Zach's party at?
It's at Eden in Soto.
Oh, okay.
They've got Questlove from the Roots tonight.
Yep.
But I think it's. I don't want to jinx it and say it's sold out if it's not sold out, but I'm pretty sure it's sold out.
Well, usually when Zach does things, he does things properly. I remember Zach had a lot of. He had a good partnership going with the Baltic Room for some time.
Yeah.
And then what's that name of that venue down there on Guy? It's like the old trains on off of 4th Avenue there.
I think they just call it the train car. He does that disco party there twice a month.
Yeah.
Snaps.
Yeah.
Everybody gets all dressed up. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So cool. So,
but he also when he's not throwing 420 parties with Questlove, he hosts Friday nights at Trinity Nightclub.
Oh, does he?
He does.
Great.
That's my guy.
There you go. I see. That's why you got to. Let me know these things because Zach and I. Last time I saw Zach and I had dinner, and then he showed me his really nice studio down on kind of below the viaduct on whatever street that is. south of Pioneer Square, and he's got a nice setup in there.
Yeah. We've got a full page ad running right now in Dope Magazine. It was shot in his studio.
Yeah.
For Miller
Marijuana. Yeah. So Amber Joy was just on, and we're going to try to call Amber Joy back here again. We lost connection with her, so let's try to call Amber Joy. She may be. I know she told Erica, my show producer, that she had a busy day today, but let's try to call Amber Joy back now and see if we can get Amber Joy to pick up. And if not, Guy, there's still plenty to discuss today. Well, hopefully Amber Joy will have the opportunity to call back in. Must have been a bad connection earlier. Erica, if you want to just come over here real quick. Who besides Amber Joy, was there anyone else? John. We have John going to be calling in as well, and then at 2:30, you mentioned that we're going to do some other business associated with weekend festivities. So until then, Guy, let's continue to talk about, because there's always a lot to talk about within the local nightlife scene here in Seattle. There's some new venues opening up like VU that I'm excited about. I'm excited to check it out. You said that you've had the opportunity to check it out. Where exactly is that venue?
Belltown.
Okay.
It's across the street from Wasabi Bistro.
Oh, right there. Okay.
Yeah.
On 2nd Avenue?
Yeah.
Great. And
across the street from Stylus Salon.
Yep.
Shout out to the homies at Stylus Salon.
Yep.
It's an excellent place to get a haircut if you're in the neighborhood.
Okay. What and when does that officially open up?
I don't know. They're trying to, they're jumping through a lot of hoops. They built that place from scratch.
Okay.
So they had to, everything had to be 2018 permits. They couldn't grandfather anything from somebody else that opened a bar. So they've had a little bit of a struggle with it, but they're getting there.
There you go. Well, I know you're pressed for time today, and I don't want to keep you too long. I wish you nothing but much success for the big 420 event going down tonight at Trinity Nightclub. I'm sure it'll be packed. I'm sure it'll be wall to wall like it always is, and all three of the rooms have some ice cream for me in your ice cream room. And
I got a few more minutes if you want to tell some stories. Why don't you give me a
What would you like to know? I'm an open book.
You're an open book?
I mean,
okay.
Keep it, within lines, but
okay. You don't have any backstage at Summer Jam stories?
Oh, I have plenty. I have plenty of stories backstage at Summer Jam. Well, you want to hear about the story of Beyonce, 50 Cent's son taking the Xbox out of the dressing room, thinking that it was his, and me having to reach out to G-Unit Records that year and have him send it back to us because it was actually a special one that was given to us that 50 and his kid could play with before they went on stage. But I smoothed it out. So
how old was 50 Cent's son at the time?
Boy, that was the year that 50 Cent was at Summer Jam. It was out of the Gorge. It was probably, that was 10 years ago now. 10, 11 years ago now. I don't remember how old he was. So he's probably 18 or 19 now. So I doubt I would highly doubt that he would remember that, of all things. But it would be fun to see if he remembered, packing the Xbox up in his bag. And I saw it all go down, and, I kept it cool to a degree, but, I said, hey, sometimes I guess, when you're 50 Cent or 50 Cent's son, you can walk out of dressing rooms with things that just aren't yours.
Man, 50 Cent is so paid.
Yeah. Would you like to hear about the really funny, humorous story about Snoop Dogg falling asleep in his dressing room and security not wanting me to go in there and wake him up? And I had 22,000 fans. He was the headliner of the show, and people were starting to really get antsy and chant Snoop Dogg on stage, Snoop Dogg on stage. So I had to walk up the hill, knock on the dressing room door, and I said, let me in, let me in that dressing room. So I wasn't intimidated in the least. I walked in there, and he was completely asleep on the bed in the dressing room. I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, Snoop, it's quite a bit of money here on the line. You're the headliner of the show. Like, time to wake up and do this show. So
I think Eric Powers actually told me that same story like a month ago when I asked for
he was being the stage manager, and I was the one going and waking up Snoop Dogg. So,
it must have been memorable because it was literally like the first story both of you guys told when I said, "What's a crazy summer jam story?"
Yeah. What else would you like to know?
Man, I don't know. You ever heard E40's son rap?
I have.
Droopy?
Yep.
It's pretty good.
Yeah. He's been working with his son, for a long time, and E40's got an amazing home studio down in the Bay. E40 and Gary Payton, used to be neighbors, and then Gary moved to a different, development down there in Oakland, and but E40's always been a good friend. He's just like, you're not really dealing with much of an ego with E40, and he's real, and he's just a seasoned vet,
I bought their first album out of the trunk of Be Legit's car in the parking lot of what was that record store that was in the Columbia City Plaza?
Easy Street?
No, Columbia City Plaza down on Rainier Avenue.
Yeah, Rainier. I thought Easy Street had one down there.
No, it was the one. ARS, I think.
Oh, was it ARS?
It was ARS.
Okay.
So I bought the album out of the trunk of Be Legit's Cutlass.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on artists today still walking around selling CDs? I mean, most cars today equipped don't have CD players in them.
I don't think that most artists are walking around selling CDs.
Oh yeah. Have you ever walked by Nordstrom's on a random Sunday afternoon and seen how many artists are selling their CDs outside there?
I mean, I think that's a different kind of hustle.
Well, no, but I'm just saying that I go to a lot of local shows.
Yeah.
I just was at a show at Nectar in Fremont, and 3 different artists came up to me and tried to get me to buy their CDs, and then they were very respectful. Then they realized, hey, I kind of heard them saying to each other, hey, that's Dirty Harry. Probably shouldn't be asking for him to buy your CD. More like give him your CD to have an opportunity to come here and do an interview on the air. But I do see it quite a bit. So
it is kind of weird. Like, what is the new hustle? Like in the old days, you could move CDs and tapes if you were trying to like grassroots it. And then for a minute there was a thing where they're handing out thumb drives, but then that was the bad look because everybody's computers were getting infected.
Yeah.
So the thumb drive thing kind of just disappeared silently.
Yeah.
So now if you were trying to be like a grassroots guy and come up to Dirty Harry at Nectar, like how are you supposed to transfer your music? Are you supposed to like hand them a card that has a SoundCloud link or something?
Yeah, I mean that's in 2018 that's probably the appropriate way to do it, professional way to do it. But I mean I'll be honest, I just purchased just a brand new car, and doesn't have a CD player in it. The new cars today don't. And I'm not going to invest in. I mean, they told me if I really wanted one because they said I have a lot of CDs at the house, and there's ways that they can put it under the armrest, or they can put it in the trunk and stuff. But really, what's the point when everything is digital now? So
yeah, I mean, you're just gonna burn those CDs to iTunes or whatever. Anyways, right?
Yeah.
You like listen to that old school hip hop station on Sirius?
I do. I listen
it's
to
good. Backspin. No. Now it's called the LL Cool J thing. What's it called?
It's called Rock the Bells.
Rock the Bells.
It's called Rock the Bells. Shout out to LL Cool J. I worked with LL Cool J back when I was at Def Jam Records.
Yeah.
I worked with LL. Went on the tour. Went on several cities with him because I was the Def Jam rep. So he came out here with Brian Daughtry, his old manager, and Tim Smith, and it was those were the fun years to be associated with a label like Def Jam.
Did you hear like a year ago somebody broke into LL Cool J's house?
Yep.
And LL Cool J just beat the hell out of him.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah.
In fact, he put him in the hospital with his hands.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just don't want to mess with the wrong people.
Can you imagine being that burglar and just being like, I've made a terrible mistake breaking into this house?
I mean, you'll be all over TMZ. You'll be all over all the outlets, and you just it's like.
Like, what are the odds that you break into somebody's house that can beat you up as bad as LL Cool J?
Yeah.
Especially in like the Hollywood Hills or whatever.
Yeah.
You think you're gonna break into like Stan Lee's house,
I would have loved to be a wallflower to watch that go down.
Like,
I mean, that's
like,
just
LL's getting him. Oh no!
Just pure destruction at its finest. So
man, he got his kids in this house too, so he's charged up about it.
Yeah, and and usually, I mean, depending on people's styles, I mean, I've seen a lot of people where they have no issues, grabbing a machete or a sword or a gun. And
a sword? Who do you know that grabbed a sword?
Oh, there's people that have swords. Yeah, there's some old school
man.
people. Oh yeah, so
nobody's got swords.
Yes, they do.
My home defense. I got my katana on the wall just in case.
No, there's people that still have long old school swords.
Some eccentric people. I think is what's going on here.
Oh yeah, no, there's some people that have swords. And, you know, think about it. It's long. It's long.
Who are these people?
I'm not going to mention anybody's names, but I knew some people that, you know, from maybe they're new to America and they live, you know, they're from overseas and
all they brought with them was their sword.
Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm not
Man,
joking.
In the other countries they have guns there too.
No, I know they do, but I'm not. Believe me, I couldn't make this up. Friends have invited me over to their houses. Some people have them on wall display because like their houses are kind of like museums, and then some of them have them as weapons. I mean, it's actually not a bad idea because they're long. No, seriously, they're long. And if you want to stab someone, you know, like where you would stab someone to get them, I mean, it's easier than sometimes pulling out a gun.
It's more of a slicing motion with the sword. I think you usually swing the sword. I don't know if you stab as much. I think that's more of a short-bladed attack.
Well, I mean, from what I've heard, I don't own a sword. I'll be the first to say I don't own a sword, but I've talked to people.
You need to get in the game. You need to get into this sword game.
I have a costume sword.
You have a costume sword?
There you go.
That's not good for home defense.
No, there you go. My show producer and Guy. I think Guy still thinks that there aren't people here, you know, in the Northwest that are protecting their homes. I think
you should get a dog.
I've never seen someone use a sword as self-defense.
No, I haven't either. I haven't actually seen them use. I haven't been in the house when someone has burglarized the house, but I've seen swords used as backup weapons. Not to say that they don't have guns, but some people are into having multiple amounts of weapons in their house. I mean,
let me ask you this. Was it Nasty Ness? Does Nasty Ness have a sword?
Hey, I'm not going to mention anybody's names. It could be Ness, but
hey, do you remember that door?
You know
guy?
what? This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do, Guy, because you really think that I'm.
You want to call in?
No.
Sword owners, call in now.
This is what I'm.
Oh, the phones are blowing up. It's lighting up like a Christmas tree in Studio 110.
Yeah. .live. Can't forget that. So with that being said, next time you come in, I'm gonna maybe either
bring
have
a sword.
No. I'm gonna have one of the guys that I know that has one either in here, not to bring it in, but he'll back me up. Like
it's not gonna be those dudes that practice like sword fighting underneath the freeway up by Green Lake with the foam armor.
No, but this is what I will say.
So like Dungeons and Dragons.
This is what I will say because you still think that I'm joking around with you, but this is what I will say. You know a guy named Amir.
I do know Amir.
Yeah, and Amir has a classic line that I think I'm okay to say on the air. Like he's been very verbal about this in the past since him and I have been friends since they did the All-Star party at the W Hotel. The year that the All-Star game was in Seattle. I don't even know what year that was, but that's the year that Amir and I became friends. And he always says to me, he says, you know, Dirty Hair, if someone messes with you, you give me a call and I'll literally take a sword and or a machete and shove it down someone's throat. So that's coming from
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yeah.
Amir's a lot older now, and now he has people that will do it for him.
No, I know that. I know that. But what I'm saying,
I don't know if any of them are sword owners, though. I haven't checked it out.
Well, when he's coming up with the sentence, and I'm not going to mention anybody's names and put it out there, but I am telling you that I wasn't planning on talking about this segment for 10 minutes about if people have swords in their houses or not. I mean, I'm a very...
The 420 sword edition of Studio 110 Live.
Yeah. I'm a very honest person, and I'm not here to make up what people have in their houses.
I think that next time I'm here, you need to bring in some representatives from the sword lobby, from people that support the use of swords for home defense.
Okay, I will. And then are you gonna laugh at them? I mean, you think you should laugh?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I might because I mean it's swords, man. Like.
Yeah,
that's a fantasy weapon. That's, you know. Okay.
Well, now you have something.
On that note.
Yeah, now you have something to think about for the rest of the afternoon, going into the weekend. And if people come up to you at Trinity tonight, which I'm sure they will, and this weekend, say, hey, you know, they saw you, they heard you on the new show here at Studio 110.live talking about swords, then you know, say, hey, you know that.
I'm going to post a poll on my Facebook today.
Okay.
About the use of swords in home defense, and I'm gonna come back to you with those poll results. I'm gonna call them in.
Okay, I'm looking forward to hearing them. I'm the first to tell you. I don't think it's a common thing, but there are still some people that have them you know in their homes.
I think you should remember though that 420 is no time for sword play because that is not responsible sword ownership. To smoke marijuana and then use swords because that could be a hazardous situation for everybody involved.
Yes.
You could lose a finger. You could lose an eye.
Yep.
You got to keep the sword where it belongs, over the mantle.
Well, no, that
Take it down when you're sober.
Yeah, there's
Then practice your sword moves by yourself in your living room. Because there's nothing weird about that at all.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I don't own them.
I don't mean to offend all of the sword users that are tuned in right now to Studio 110 Live.
That's right. Who do I have? Who do I have here on the phone with me? Studio 110.live. Who's on the line?
Hello, this is Sarah calling from Uncle Ike.
Sarah from Uncle Ike's. Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you taking the time to reach out to us today here for the big 420 festivities at Studio 110.live. What a transition to go from my guy Godfrey here, who owns Trinity Nightclub, talking about swords and people using swords as one way to defend themselves in their homes. So we're going to go from that topic to talking about my good friend Ian Eisenberg, who is the captain, the man around Uncle Ike's. Before you leave, Guy, thanks for coming in today.
Welcome.
I'm always glad when I can put you in tears.
Okay, I want to know. Hold on. I want to know what it was like this morning when you guys started selling those $28 ounces at 10 a.m. Was it bananas?
Are you there, Sarah?
Ooh, what did you say about $28 ounces?
Was it crazy at 10 a.m. when you guys opened the doors for those $28 ounces?
They're gone now. Yeah, they flew. We've got some doorbusters going on at coming up. So we have another one at 4 and another one at 8 p.m. tonight.
There you go. So I have Sarah here with me from Ian Eisenberg, Uncle Ike's, an iconic, wonderful one-stop shop here in the Northwest. You've got two locations on 23rd and on 15th Avenue. You've also got the car wash. You've got the glass store. You guys are opening up another store. I know when Ian was here in the studio with me, you guys are continuing to expand. More and more locations around the greater Pacific Northwest. But
Absolutely. Don't forget White Center too. Rat City is represented as well today.
Yep. White Center. And let's talk about everything going down on the 420 side of the big cannabis day here today at Uncle Ike's.
Absolutely. We are just winding up right now. The ice cream truck has arrived. The mechanical joint is being set up. It is getting exciting.
That's great. And how many people are out there right now?
Oh my gosh, we've had a line to the street all day today. So everyone's here, everyone's cheerful. It is very exciting.
And what is Ian doing as we speak? Is he up in the corporate office, watching things, probably watching all of his bud tenders do what they do the best and his staff, or is he out there, talking to people?
A little bit of both. He's been kind of overseeing everything. Very exciting out here.
Well, there you go. And what have you been taking part in today? What's been your kind of day-to-day on the operation side of things, Sarah?
I've just been, making sure everything's going as planned. The sales team is holding it down. We have a great team of our inventory and our buying team really set us up for success today. So, we're just watching everything happen. Watching people line up. Everyone's in a great mood. Just making sure everything falls into place.
Well, that's good. And what are the times today on the festivities? I know they're currently going on. When do they end?
Our parking lot party kicks off, so we've got about an hour to go before everything is ready. But it's looking exciting. We have the petting zoo is coming. Everyone's been, awaiting the wallabies. But we also have a special guest, the baby wallaby, that will be here today too. So wallabies are happening in about an hour. We have a glass blower that's going to be doing a live demo. We have a lot of our vendors as well. I can see hanging out in the parking lot. We have a full tilt scooping some ice cream, tacos for days. It's pretty exciting out here.
And so you mentioned a petting zoo, you mentioned ice cream, you mentioned all the festivities. Guy Godfrey, who's been on with me for my first hour today here at Studio 110.live, said that you guys had just some great price busters. So it's just some great prices that most other spots, well, I can't say what their prices are, but Guy mentioned that the prices that you guys are offering your clientele today at Uncle Ike's is definitely something you don't want to miss.
Absolutely. On top of, we've got this doorbuster pricing, but we've just got specials all day. We've got prices for everyone, top shelf, budget buds.
We're going to have like 3 for $4 joints starting, I believe, at 4 p.m. And then I think we have $6 eights at 8 p.m. tonight too. So, there definitely will be specials all day long for everybody at all of our locations. Actually, all those specials are available at all 3 locations. We also, though, we're going to have a couple food trucks down at our White Center location too. So
great. And
very exciting.
And what I know, some of the items are already sold out. What's already sold out that's not available anymore for purchase today?
Definitely the $28 ounces. Those ones flew off the shelves, but yeah, definitely everyone should just stop by and check everything out. Lots of good specials to go around.
And which location are you currently calling me from right now? Which one are you at?
I'm calling from the Central District. I'm actually looking down at the festivities below. Everything is getting set up. The mechanical joint is going to be pretty wild. I'm watching them. It's pretty intense.
How many people would you say are out?
Oh, how many people right now? Oh, gosh. We've probably had, I couldn't even go. We really know how to lie. We've had 50 to 100 people in line since 8 a.m. today. So it's been wild. That's
great. And I'm sure people are, bringing out their neighbors. And it sounds like a real fun kind of, parking lot party going down at Uncle Ike's up there in the CD.
No kidding. We're going to have a selfie station. We've got the taco truck, 2 tacos all day long, a corn station as well later today. So the corn is delicious.
It reminds me of the good old Puyallup Fair, going down to the fair and getting the corn and the iconic fair scones that you can get down there at the Puyallup Fair, and different festivities around the Northwest. I'm sure your crew at your Capitol Hill location on 15th and your White Center location, I'm sure they wish they could be there, but someone's got to hold down the fort, right?
It's so exciting at every store today. I actually was over at Capitol Hill earlier today, and it's very busy over there. Everyone's really festive. So it's a holiday all around, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. I told Ian when he was in the studio with me a couple weeks ago, and I'm looking forward to him coming back in again soon. But I said we definitely need to get my show out there to do a live broadcast for one of the upcoming events. I know you guys are going to do more and more events in the parking lot and the area that you guys have to utilize for fun opportunities like this. And I think it'd be fun to do a fun, Studio 110 live event out there with you and, Ian and, the whole crew.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm hoping for lots of festivities this year. Ready for spring and summertime. This is a great way to kick it off.
It's a great way to kick it off. And it is officially springtime here, last time I checked it's spring, but you wouldn't think, today's a good, testament to a nice spring, clear day out here in the Northwest, but hopefully it'll stick around because, we don't need any more rain around here. We have plenty of rain. So.
Nope. Yep. We're, really thankful for nice weather today too. Actually, we were just talking the last, I think, 3 420s we've been open. We've had just beautiful weather. So the clouds are present, but it's still nice and warm. So it's a perfect 420 kind of day.
Well, nice. Well, I don't want to take too much of your time. I appreciate you taking the time to call in on our 420 edition show here at Studio 110.live. Please tell Ian I said hello, and I will be in contact.
Will do. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you. And tell the whole staff I said hello. I know a couple of your guys is security guys that work downstairs to keep everybody safe and proper. And I'll look forward to, I don't think I've ever actually met you, so I'll look forward to meeting you in person next time I stop by and say hello to my buddy Ian.
Absolutely. Anyone that's listening, stop in. It is lit at Uncle Ike's 420. See you soon.
And I'll try to. What time did you say the festivities end tonight? There, I'm going to try to stop by later this afternoon.
It's going to be 3 p.m. to 7.
Okay, 3 to 7. Okay.
Come by late though, because I'm sure it'll still be exciting around here.
And will Ian be around all afternoon?
Oh, I'm sure he'll be around. Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, I will. I'll stop by later after the big show. And I appreciate you again, Sarah, calling in, representing Uncle Ike's, my guy Ian, and we'll have you back on again soon to talk about all the upcoming events going down at Uncle Ike's here in Seattle.
Sounds great. Thanks so much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you. That was Sarah from Uncle Ike's. Ian, obviously, as you can imagine, is having a busy afternoon. He's got 3 stores. He's got more opening up. He's got the car wash. He's got the glass store. So it's always good to have people on in all different fronts and everything. The cannabis industry is a huge industry, so we've had the growing side, and we've had the retail side, and we've had the business side. Shout out to my guy Jared Mursky, and Brendan, and John, and of course guy Godfrey, and a lot of people are in it, and they're not necessarily vocal about it. Jake the Professor, man, that's a cool ass guy. I had no idea until he kind of opened up more to me in our conversation that we had downstairs here at the coffee shop at Studio 110.live's headquarters that Jake and his wife and a few other people were key figures in kicking off Hempfest, which is a huge production that goes down here in the summertime, right on the shores of Puget Sound, Elliott Bay, and it's definitely cool to meet people that have kicked off big time events and connect them in here to our show here at Studio 110.live. I want to get the next guest here on the line with me. I've known him for a long time. I met him through good old Sean Kemp, my buddy John. He was in the studio with us a few weeks back. He's a pretty big player, pretty big figure. A lot of people say that John was one of the first people to really get the process started in terms of the retail, the retail scene, retail outlets here for the Northwest for the cannabis scene. So we're gonna call John and get John hopefully on the line. I spoke to him before I went on the air, and it'd be good to see what he's doing today for good old 420. So we're gonna call John right now.
Good afternoon.
Hello, John. Dirty Harry, live on the air with you, Studio 110.live.
All right. Happy holidays to you.
Happy holidays to you. I know it's one of the busiest days of the year for you, and I appreciate you coming on the air with me on a great day like 420. And I wanted to.
Oh, it's beautiful.
I wanted to get caught up with you here today and put you on the big show here at Studio 110.live, and just to kind of get this kicked off. John and I have been friends for many years. We met originally through Sean Kemp. That's how we met, right, John? Through Sean Kemp?
I believe so.
Yeah. You and I met.
Or one of your buddies.
Yeah, we met through Sean Kemp, or one of the former. It was either a Seahawk player back in the day or Sean Kemp. It was through an athlete, and
I think you were living down in Madison Park.
Yep. In that vicinity. Yeah, in that vicinity. And you and I have always developed a nice relationship and kept in contact all throughout the years. And I always knew that you had something big brewing up your sleeves. I mean, you've always been a successful guy, but I always knew that you were working on something, because you always kind of dibble dabble in multiple successful arenas. And just the people that you're connected with, I want to first off by saying thank you, and let's give him a shout out, because he's actually watching the show right now. Kurt, who you
good.
Yeah, Kurt, a big TV executive that bounces between here and Los Angeles all the time. Been developing a nice relationship with him. He came down and we had lunch, and we're circling back Tuesday to discuss a lot of fun opportunities. But I want to just say thank you to you, John, for merging that relationship into place.
Well, hopefully that will continue for years to come.
Thank you. Yes, it definitely will. So let's kind of get caught up to speed. For we have new listeners and new viewers all the time. I've got my buddy John here on the line with me, Studio 110.live on a good old 420 show. And I know you're a humble, reserved guy, John, but from everything that I know about you, people kind of describe you as one of the original players in the game that paved a lot of pathways and opened up a lot of doors and resources for what people are doing today, thanks to you.
Well, we started many years ago, and I've stayed on board the whole time, so I'm feeling pretty good about it.
And talk about what year did you originally get into the business?
It was in the mid-'60s.
The mid-'60s, okay.
So it's been a few days.
Yep. And right now, your day-to-day then is you oversee about 28, 29 different farms?
Yeah, I'm involved with a lot of the growers
Okay.
Trying to keep our strains alive.
Yep.
Some of them have been going since the beginning.
Yep. And
but yeah, today I'm on my way to the Tulalip Job Fair. They're getting ready to open up their tribal store on the reservation up there.
Great.
And it's going to be quite the success, I'm pretty sure.
And talk about just how that all came about and kind of paint that picture for me.
Well, I think we started this back in medicinal days, and it was hard to get the tribes involved, but as they saw the potential and the direction it was going, and once they got the federal approval, they started pursuing it more and more, and eventually we got it through the tribal council, and now the store's getting ready to open.
Great. And that's probably thanks to you for.
I would say I spent a lot of days with that, no doubt about it.
And it sounds like more of your day-to-day operations now is more on the tribal side of the business, correct?
At this point in time, we're pretty good with the 502 retail, but yeah, I'm going to push on tribal and try to get some of this money back into tribal hands. Great.
It's been a great 420 show this afternoon, John. I kicked it off with I don't know if you know Godfrey. Guy Godfrey owns Trinity nightclub in Pioneer Square.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Sure.
And he owns
awesome.
Trinity nightclub in Pioneer Square. He's also connected in on the retail side of the business. And then I had Amber Joy, who we had a bad connection with Amber Joy, but Amber Joy is another figure locally here, tied in with good old Alejandro from Diego. And,
oh yeah.
Yep. And now we're chatting with you. Oh no, I can't forget. I just had Sarah on from my buddy Ian Eisenberg, who owns Uncle Ike's.
Sure, Sarah's been out to the Moses Lake operation.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
I want to one of these days. I want to. You've invited me so many times to come out and just see some of your growing operations out there, and I've seen pictures, and it's amazing, man. It's truly amazing to see what you built up.
Definitely come out in the fall. You'll feel like you're in another world.
Yeah, I mean, it's just amazing to see what you've built up and how many people you help and support every day here in the cannabis scene out here in the Northwest, man.
It's just amazing that they gave us the opportunity, and now we can all feel like citizens.
Right.
At least we're striving for that.
Yep. So what's on your docket today, John, for 420? I know you're going out to the tribe right now, to the reservation. What will you be doing after that?
Probably be heading north up to Bellingham and checking out some of the folks up there.
Oh, great.
The whole day is consumed with meeting the growers and seeing what's coming this year.
There you go.
Every year it changes.
What are you excited about for the future for the growing operation, within the cannabis multi-billion-dollar industry?
Well, I'm really excited about going nationwide. That's been the plan the whole time.
And can we talk about that a little bit?
Once they give us that opportunity. The tribes all have been given approval to do this, and that's probably how we're going to work our way across the country.
Oh, so your goal then is to go national with this.
Absolutely, and we're the first national tribal brand, tribally owned.
Wow, that's huge. Congrats to you for having that type of flight plan, proper illustration to take this nationally.
I was in the right neighborhood at the right time.
Yes, you definitely
were. A lot of luck and a lot of good people involved.
You definitely were, and that's super important. How's my buddy Brandon doing?
Oh, he's doing well. I met with him yesterday, and he's just working on his strains and his genetics, which somebody's got to be doing.
Yeah.
And as long as we can take a quality product around, then we're good.
There you go.
Everybody wants the same. If it says one thing on the label, it's got to be the same thing on the label.
Yep.
No matter where they go.
Yep.
And to be national, that's what you want to pursue.
So what's the next state then that you want to embark into? Are you just going to kind of go accordingly, go down south and then head east, or
Yeah,
West?
we'll go through the West Coast and then work our way from Florida up. And yeah, it just depends on who accepts us and who doesn't at this stage. But we've been getting a lot of good response from everybody.
That's great. If you're just tuning into the big show right now, Studio 110.live, Monday through Friday, 1 to 3 Pacific Standard Time. Big shout out to my buddy Kurt on the east side here, one of the suburbs of the Northwest, listening to the show. And I've got a true old friend of mine. You're not old in any way, shape, or form, John. You're just the friendship is just old, meaning that we've known each other for a few years.
Too.
Yes, everybody should strive to have good relationships like you and I have built into place.
And there's very few of those out there, but I seem to be able to stick it out with all my pals.
Yeah, because you and I don't burn bridges. We don't burn bridges, and that's important in any good business dealings today. You just start burning bridges, people catch on like a California wildfire. So.
Yeah, come on down. We're all still here.
Which states? When you talk about just the from you doing the building the platform that you built here in the Northwest, but taking the platform that you built and expanding that into other multi-markets around the country. Which states are you excited to work with, and then which states do you think will be harder to cut through the red tape ultimately?
Well, I have been working with the Paiute tribe in Nevada, and California. I'm just doing the straight retail in California.
Okay.
But every state, I'm not holding back.
Yeah. Well,
as long as they give me access, I'm here.
So
the medicinal side, medicinal is huge.
Yeah.
40 to 70-year-old folks are all trying to stick it out with the CBD, and they haven't had access. Same with the military. Same with all the people who need access and have been rejected.
And do you think we'll see a change on that?
Oh, absolutely. We've got John Boehner, the ex-Speaker of the House. He's involved in the board of directors of one of the major major marijuana businesses.
Uh-huh.
And once he starts speaking for us, we should have some more access, especially for the military. The VA has been pushing us off, but we all know that it helps.
Sure.
We just haven't seen the studies.
I had the opportunity to meet Jake the Professor. He came down here with Diego from Alejandro, and it sounds like he was one of the early on influential people that kicked off HempFest. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yep. He was like you. You and he are very similar, John. You would never know it when you're walking down the street how powerful of a figure you two are here in the cannabis scene locally, so nationally too. So.
Well, it's a fantastic opportunity for everybody, and I hope everybody stays on board with us. It seems to have hills and valleys, ups and downs, but right now is the time to get this done.
Good.
The West Coast is looking pretty strong.
Yep.
The rest of the country, we'll have to see how that hammers out.
What are your thoughts, John, when you look at like Willie Nelson's line and Snoop Dogg's line and just other celebrities that have attached their branding, their co-branding into their own, packaging and their own proper illustrations for, store shelving at different, cannabis retailers around the country? What can you speak, in terms of what Willie Nelson and these guys are doing?
I've known most of those people forever, whenever they came to town. And they all had interest, but they all were more interested in the pet rock than they were in the product.
Okay.
They didn't put the energy out that was going to keep their brands alive. Everybody has name recognition, but your sourcing is what makes your brand successful.
And what do you feel? Like someone like Willie Nelson and Snoop Dogg and these other, big time names that associate their branding, in the cannabis scene? What do you think they need to improve on?
Well, I think they need to spend more time talking to the folks about the product and less time about their pipes and sidelines.
Uh-huh.
We haven't seen Willie really step up at all, but he's getting over the age of, he's done his life. be the promoter.
Yeah, yeah.
Although he's been the promoter since I can remember.
Yep, yep.
But for their brand, they just need to stick with the program and worry much less about their image and more about the product.
Any other surprises up your sleeves that you can be the first to discuss, or we can make a time to get you back on with us again to make upcoming special announcements?
We're going to roll out our tribal brand here in the next couple months, so be looking forward to that. A lot of changes will be coming.
Great. I'll look forward to having you come in to talk about that for sure. That'll be huge. So I'll look forward to that for sure, John.
That'll be a national show for you.
Great.
Everybody will be on board. From here to Florida for sure.
Awesome. Well, I want to, before I forget, I want to tell you that Sean Kemp did reach out. He's been on the East Coast.
Awesome.
He's been on the East Coast,
he's in
but
New York right now.
Yep. He's been on the East Coast, but he's really looking forward to coming into the studio and going on the air here with me.
Yeah, I think that will be a great show because you can't have more fun than with Sean.
Yeah. Anybody that misses the Sonics and wants the Sonics, I still feel like I got robbed from that team. Honestly, like I'll never forget that day. Like that was a horrible, that was a tragedy to allow the Sonics to leave. So.
We put so many things together to keep them here, and nobody would even talk to us.
Yeah, and I remember sitting courtside. I remember sitting courtside down there with you on the court. With you, John, and the guys. So. Those were just, I mean, you remember those years, and those were just, those were just such fun years.
It was the time of my life, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Just being around that electricity will, give you a few more years to live.
Absolutely. Well, listen, I wish you nothing but, believe me, you don't need it, but I wish you nothing but continued success, John, and everything that you're doing for everybody, and opening up a lot of doors and creating new pathways for new people, acquiring new licenses and new possibilities to open up new pathways to open up for new people to be able to capture the dream to enter into the cannabis world, and a lot of it always goes back to you. So.
Well, I appreciate it, Harry, and appreciate your time. And love the platform.
Thank you very much.
Hopefully, we'll be doing the TV show next.
Yeah, no, it'll be fun to talk to you and even talk to Kurt more about that, and incorporate that into the future, fun things that will be happening here at Studio 110.live.
It's a beautiful day for 420.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much, John, for calling in.
Thank you, Harrison. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time to call us today. That was John. John is a well-renowned figure here locally in the cannabis scene. He's opened up a lot of doors, created a lot of pathways for people like Uncle Ike's from Ian Eisenberg, and Jared Mursky and Brandon. And Diego from Alejandra. I mean, it starts with people like Jake the Professor and John. So my producer is informing me that I can get Amber Joy back now on the line. So let's call Amber Joy and continue this amazing 420 show that we're doing here today at Studio 110.live. So let's get Amber Joy to call in here. We'll actually be calling her apparently. Looks like we're having some technical difficulties here on reaching Amber Joy. Let's see if we can get Amber. Here we go.
Hey, Harry, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Fine, Amber Joy. Thank you for thanks for getting coming back on the air here with us.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulties.
No problem. Hey, it happens in today's era. With all these buildings and cranes and construction sites all over the frickin' city, it doesn't make it any easier. So
that's kind of what we have going on up here usually.
Yeah.
So happy 420.
It's 420
over there in Bellevue.
It's going great here at Studio 110.live's headquarters down here in downtown Bellevue, overlooking the rest of the city, and it's a great clear day. like you can be able to relate to? I'm sure it's clear over across the water here in Seattle.
Yeah, definitely. It's a beautiful day. We got blessed for this 420 for sure.
I just had Sarah on the line with me, who is one of Ian Eisenberg's employees, and she told me an interesting fact that she said the last 420s around the Northwest have been washouts. So it's actually nice to have a clear 420 for once around here.
Nice. Over at Bikes.
Yep, yeah, she's on their Central District location, and they've got multiple festivities going on today in the parking lot, and they did a bunch of different special price points for products that they were giving away, and I know a lot of those things have been sold out. But I kind of want to focus on you. I've got Amber Joy here on the line with me, calling from Seattle. And you do a lot here in the local cannabis scene here, and kind of give me the proper illustration on just kind of your day-to-day, Amber, for what you do in this multi-billion-dollar industry.
Oh, well, let's see. I guess, it's hard to put a finger on what I do day to day. I mean, everything is constantly changing. I work more in marketing and advertising in cannabis.
Okay.
I got here by way of a company called Canicon. I went to work for them when they were kind of in their building stages and helped that show. Before that, I was in medical man. I was here in Washington. I did that from about 2011 until about 2000 and I'd say 14, when medical kind of started to go to the wayside. I went to Canicon and started helping build that show so that we could bring resources into Washington State for the producers and the processors and the retail stores.
Great.
So that's kind of what pushed me into the marketing and business side. Yet I still, have my hands in lots of things medical and helping patients and connecting people with resources and information and education, I guess. So last night was really cool. We hosted, like I was saying earlier, Blunt Talks, which is it's like a TED Talks, but for the cannabis community. And what I've normally seen are panels, which are really informative and can be really great. But this format seemed to just really, really hit home and resonate with the listener, the audience. We had some stores in there, some bud tenders, some brand owners. It was a hodgepodge of people, but everyone was on the edge of their seats, just really wanting to hear, kind of people's stories rather than their knowledge base or selling their products. That was really exciting.
Great.
To see that.
Great. And where did
So
that?
that was last.
Where was
go
that
ahead.
last night? Where was it?
We held that last night at the Ruckus Room, which is the Tirokino group. They have the Velvet Swing Lube, Happy Apple cannabis infused cider, some really cool products. They just came out with a cannabis water, which is sugarless, which is really
nice.
cool in our community.
Nice, great.
So yeah, that was really fun. And then we hosted an event here after hours, and we're just up at it again, getting ready to do a Willie's Reserve party here in a few hours.
And let's talk about that. I was just talking to I don't know his last name, and I wouldn't want to put his last name on the air, but my buddy John, who's been in the business for many years. He's definitely done a lot, created a lot of pathways for a lot of people today to be able to expand and be able to carry on great new business patterns and partnerships here in the Northwest and nationally too. So John was just on, and we were actually talking about Willie's line a bit. So let's talk about the event that's happening this afternoon.
I'm not sure yet. I was invited by Cass. I think Willie's right-hand man. He's constantly on social media hanging out with Willie now. So I was just chatting it up with him, and he told me in, and I hadn't made any solid plans yet, so I'm going to go check it out.
So that's kind of part of your 420 festivities today from Amber, embarking on the rest of the afternoon for a good old 420 here in the Northwest, huh?
Yeah, and then I'm going to go check out Diego Pelletier. They have the world's largest bong over there, so I need to stop by and just see that and get some pictures.
I hear that thing is. I hear the thing is like, what is it? 8 feet tall, 10 feet tall? How tall? Yeah. And
I believe it's sitting on a little than everyone in the shop, so I'm excited to go down and measure it and get some footage, and I don't know how long it's going to be and show some love to Diego.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time to call back into the show today. Happy 420.
Yeah, no, thank you. I appreciate you guys. You rock.
Thank you. Happy
I think we're
420.
going to host an event over there coming soon. So stay
Awesome.
tuned for that. I'm probably going to release the date this weekend.
Well, let's get you on the air with me here in the studio. I'll have my show producer Erica connect with you about that event, and let's get you and Alejandro and everybody here in the studio to make that major announcement. Let's do that right here on the show.
I'd love that. Let's set that up. Hi, Erica.
She can't actually hear you right now. She's working on some projects, but
Cool.
I will definitely send your regards to Erica. And
Awesome.
thank
so
you.
much.
Enjoy your weekend, and happy 420 to you. And thank you.
420.
And thank you again for calling back in. I appreciate it.
Talk soon.
Thank you. That was Amber Joy calling in. It's been a great 420 edition today. Thank you to my show producer Erica for aligning a lot of these people up. Guy Godfrey, John, Amber Joy, Sarah from Uncle Ike's. I mean, that's 4 people right there. 4 pretty big people in the Northwest that control, that operate, that sustain the cannabis scene, everything going on in the Northwest. Erica, if you want to just pop over here where a guy was sitting here on one of our guest position microphones. Earlier in the show, I had to, unfortunately, and I wanted to speak to you because I know you were a large fan of Avicii and had to break that unfortunate news earlier in the 1 o'clock hour today. For the people that are just tuning in and listening right now at Studio110.live, Avicii, a world-renowned, a very famous DJ around the world, has unfortunately died. His rep says that he died in the Middle Eastern country of Oman. Details surrounding his death are still unclear. His real name was Tim Bergling. He was born in Sweden. His reps issued a statement. It is with profound sorrow that we announce the loss of Tim Bergling, also known as Avicii. He was found dead in Muscat, Oman, Friday afternoon local time out there. The family is devastated, and we ask everyone to please respect their need for privacy. This is coming from TMZ. In this difficult time, no further statements will be given. Avicii had struggled with addiction in the past. He was hospitalized twice for alcohol-related issues, though it's unclear at this point if he had anything to do with his death. He dropped some of the biggest EDM songs in the world, including Levels, Hey Brother, and his massive hit Wake Me Up, featuring Aloe Black. He was nominated for 2 Grammys for Best Dance Recording in 2011 and 2012 for Levels and Sunshine, and he was just announced and nominated for a Billboard Music Award for Top Dance Electronic Album. He retired from live performances like you see a lot of artists do to focus on other achievements that they want to be able to stack up in 2016. But before that, he was easily one of the highest paid DJs in the world, earning $28 million in 2014, and that's coming to Forbes. A couple other massive celebrities that have come out to pay their respects and send their condolences to Avicii and to Avicii's family and crew, one being from Calvin Harris. Devastating news about Avicii, a beautiful soul, passionate and extremely talented with so much more to do. My heart goes out to his family. God bless you, Tim. And Charlie Puth, wow, I would like to take a moment to pay tribute to the man who really opened up my eyes to what my productions could one day sound like out of Avicii. He was a genius and a music innovator, and I cannot believe he is no longer with us. R.I.P. to the very best. So when I unfortunately had to break this news to you just before I signed on today at 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time here at Studio110.live, you took it quite hard. This is someone that you respected and looked up to, and just kind of talk about what connection did you have ultimately with Avicii?
So I'm gonna try not to get emotional here. So Avicii, his music so the song Levels, first of all, Paradiso, I want to say probably about 4 years ago. Correct me guys if I'm wrong, or I'm not sure if that's correct, but about 4 years ago, Avicii played Levels, and I remember that I was standing on the hill at Paradiso, and the song Levels came on, and everybody on the hill just got up and started just passionately dancing, and everybody was like holding hands, and it was just the most beautiful sight. And I just remember like thinking, wow, this is one of the most incredible moments of my life. And I think it was just so powerful because that song Levels, it literally lifts you up. Like, I think the reason behind the song being like called Levels is because there's just so many different feelings that are attached to that song that can be really brought out just in so many different ways. And Avicii was just a master at capturing emotion through music, because you could tell, like when I was standing on that hill, I still to this day will remember that, but it was one of the most beautiful experiences probably I'll ever have in my life, because it was right as like the sunset was setting, and it was just incredible that song was just so powerful, and everybody was just so happy. And, you know, it's kind of funny because I really wasn't, I don't even know how to explain this, but I wasn't even like, I was completely 100% sober, hadn't had a drink in me, nothing like, and it was just such a powerful song that I literally just felt high on the music because it was so powerful. And it's kind of funny, actually. So I am literally obsessed with his music. And that song, Avicii of Levels, it was on my playlist. This is kind of funny to admit, but it was probably on my playlist repeatedly. The only song I played for about a month.
Really? So
the only song I played for a month straight. It was
so it was in power rotation then in your car and in the house too.
It was the only song in rotation.
Yeah.
So anyways, as some of you know, I have a costume and graphic line called Beyond the Mind Designs. It actually has not officially launched yet because, funny story, Avicii. So the song that I wanted, Levels, because it is so big and it is such a world-class, large, kind of record executive name, label.
Yep.
They were trying, so my company, I have kind of a lot of connections as to like get things connected and, in the EDM scene and being kind of on the promoting side of things. But the song from Avicii, Levels, that I wanted, just guess, take a wild guess how much you think that I was charged. Just guess.
Oh, let's take a guess here. I'm sometimes good at this game. Let's guess. And you didn't tell me earlier, so this is just a wild guess.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say anywhere from 10 to 12 grand.
Yeah, so about 10 grand.
Okay. Yeah.
And I obviously was like, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Because Facebook, I originally posted the video and it had the song Levels. And then they kept like blocking it off and taking it off because it was copyright. You can't have a song unless it's, actually like verified.
Correct.
So then that's when I was like, okay, well, I have to turn to alternatives. And there was just nothing that spoke to me more than that song because I have so many different memories attached to it. And, just throughout the summers, I've really just kind of like leached onto that song. And it literally absolutely broke my heart hearing that Avicii was gone. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
And we've seen it. We've seen it with DJ AM.
But this is not that's not Avicii.
Yeah, but he was also an iconic DJ who originated and really put the EDM scene on the map, especially in Las Vegas. He was a resident DJ down at some of the biggest nightclub venues down in Las Vegas, and I remember having to talk about that story. Not an easy story to talk about. And it was shortly when we speak about DJ AM. DJ AM did this. He did a few collaborations with the Nike SB line because he was into that, and it was a tragic loss for the music business. And now we see it with Avicii, and we see it a lot. We see it a lot with artists and entertainers, and we never want to jump to conclusions and speculate, but a lot of times it is unfortunately it's drug related, it's overdoses, it's and you and I both know, Erica, that these things can be prevented usually. They can be prevented, and at 28 is just too young. When you got your whole life to live, and you're such a you're an icon, you're a superstar, you got such a strong fan base. People are going to pay tickets to come and watch you and buy your merch and support you on the downloads and all on all proper measurements. So it's really unfortunate to see someone where they built up their current career at only 28 to lose their life. So
my question, I guess, is what was he doing down there?
Looks like he was Looks like he was probably doing a show. Looks like he was.
Really?
Usually, you're only down there to do a show. I mean, you would have no real other reasoning to be down there than other to do He was probably doing some international shows, and that was the stop that he was on. So
wow, that's just so devastating.
Yep.
Did they they didn't reveal any information as to where exactly he was found?
No.
Wow,
well, they gave the area, the city where it happened, but
do you think that will be revealed later on, all of that detail, or no?
Knowing our sources here at Studio 110.live and the partnerships that we have, we'll be able to hopefully have some new information to report on Monday's show at 1:00. And I know it affects a lot of people. It's definitely not, you probably never would have guessed this morning when you woke up, kicked off a Friday afternoon on 420, that we would have been talking about Avicii losing his life overseas.
No.
So,
it's really sad too. So actually, literally 2 days ago, I was at the gym and I played levels.
Yeah.
I played levels in the gym. So it just... Oh my gosh, I'm having a really difficult time with this. I'm not going to lie. Hey, it's a live show, right? It's going to capture all the real live emotion we're feeling right now.
Yeah, it's a live show, and you have to be able to reflect, and you have to be able to remember, how you do so. What I want to kind of wrap it up here. Talk about you're doing a great cause tonight. Moving, once again, our sincerest condolences and thoughts are with Avicii and his family and his management and his whole entire crew.
Yeah.
With that being said, moving forward, your 420 tonight is actually consisting of some really good, charitable, good work that you're doing for local firefighters here in the community.
Yeah, actually. So my 420 actually does not consist of weed, and I will be working a firefighter hall event with one of my best friends, Nini.
Okay.
And so we will be kind of, attending and also making sure that everything for the event and everything is prepared. We'll also be kind of preparing drinks for the firefighters and, just really kind of making sure that they know that they are appreciated. And I honestly, the last time we did this event, it was just really cool. And, there was some speakers and there was just a lot of things that they discussed on behalf of things that they're working on. And I was just really happy to be in the presence and, kind of be part of it all because they do so much. And
they do.
It's not really, it's not something we really focus in too much about. We're so focused on media and what's hot and what's not and all of these stories that some of them are not even, I understand the hype. Like, I get it. Like, that's kind of what everything has to be projected to a certain image. Like, they want to attract viewers. They need to, it's all about, like, for the news, for example, everything needs those certain amount of viewers and publicity. But I feel like we should really focus in, too, on what our community is doing.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's very important. And I want you to stay with me. There's one other story that I do want to talk about before we wrap it up on a good 420 afternoon program here at Studio 110.live. Meek Mill, Nicki Minaj's ex, responds to men getting cases dismissed as judge forces him to remain behind bars. It's been another big music news story that's we've been getting updates on pretty much every day here. I don't talk about it every day, but I figured, we're gonna show some love here to Meek Mill. Meek Mill is an all-around good guy who unfortunately is down for some violations that it's not exactly clear what role he played in these, but we're not going to assume and we're not going to report any false facts. We're just going to report what we're being told here at Studio 110.live. Meek Mill is doing his best to ultimately bite his tongue amid new reports claiming multiple people have had cases dismissed at the urging the Philadelphia District Attorney. The Dream Chasers boss has addressed the judge, giving the green light on those cases which involve the same corrupt officer responsible for having him behind bars. According to a news report, Meek absolutely believes he should have had this case immediately dismissed. And he had an opportunity to speak to TMZ. And Meek tells TMZ he's thankful 3 other people's cases were dismissed at the urging of the Philadelphia District Attorney's Office, and says there are 105 more cases like theirs and his involving the same corrupt cop, apparently. Meek feels his case should have been dismissed like the other 3, but his current judge in this matter decided it should wait for a hearing in June. So that's what he has to do. So Meek Mill does need to sit down for a few more months in the prison that he's currently in out there in Philadelphia, and we wish him all the best. Meek's lawyer, Brian, did also sit down with TMZ, and he says this decision is just another example of Judge Brinkley's bias toward him and, just non-fair treatment. He says there's no reason for Meek's case to be delayed for another 60 days when the DEA agrees he should be free until he gets a new trial. The only reason for the judge's decision, according to Meek's team, is as her ultimate vendetta against him. And just to reiterate, prosecutors agree he should be released on bail while his appeals are considered. So, you know what? Not an easy process that Meek Mill is currently having to deal with, and we'll see. Sometimes it takes other lawyers or kind of a new partnership to be able to kind of work the magic to get clients out of the hole. So that's the latest on some music news stories today at Studio 110.live. Now let's transition into the Laugh Your Ass Off with Icons of Comedy. Tickets are officially on sale right now at the Showware Center down there in Kent. You can stop by their box office this weekend. You can call them up. You can go online. You're not going to want to miss this. You told me, Erica, that your own parents are excited to come out to our big comedy jam. Who are they excited to see between Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho, Ada Rodriguez, and Dion Cole? Do your parents have a favorite here on the star-studded lineup?
Yeah, actually. So my dad's a huge fan of Bill Bellamy.
Okay.
And then my uncle is actually a really big fan of Marlon Wayans.
Great.
So
great.
It's actually pretty exciting for them. They're like, actually, wow, like that sounds like a really great comedy show.
Yeah, it's gonna be
especially because we don't really ever have anything where it's that big of a lineup either. So considering we have so many headliners, usually comedy shows, when you have like a headliner, you have one or two, but that's it. And so the fact that we're doing 6, this is not very typical. So definitely they will be there. Absolutely.
Thank you. Coming out of the gate with just such a strong appeal. Once again, Bill Bellamy, D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans, Melanie Camacho, Ada Rodriguez, Dion Cole, the host, and Ada, I just called you Ada, like my show, Erica, my show producer, Erica, just mentioned her parents are fans of Bill Bellamy. Well, there's absolutely a reason to be a fan of Bill Bellamy. He's an actor. He's a stand-up comedian. He was on Russell Simmons' Def Comedy Jam. He also created the coining of the phrase "booty call."
Yep, I was just gonna say that.
And he's an East Coast guy. He was on MTV. He was on MTV Jams, MTV Beach House. But God, I mean, How to Be a Player, getting played, a whole bunch of movies and featured films. So these aren't rookies that we're bringing. D. Ray Davis, an actor, comedian. He's also a writer. Worked with Ice Cube. Worked with a lot of other big companies like VH1 and Netflix. So we got D. Ray Davis, Marlon Wayans. I mean, the man just speaks for himself. He's been a screenwriter, a producer, an actor, a comedian. Obviously, the Wayans brothers, the WB sitcom. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Dance flick. So he's got a laundry list, a successful laundry list. Melanie Camacho, independent women. She pretty much brings the funny with hilarious observations on relationships between men and women, which affects everybody. So anybody that's going through some sort of dysfunctional current, relationship, definitely come. It's just one reason just to come and see Melanie Camacho to put a perspective on your relationship. Dion Cole, man, he's a host. He speaks for himself. He's also an actor. He's a comedian. He's a comedy writer based out of Chicago. He's been on The Tonight Show several times with Conan, and really, really excited. He's been on Lopez Tonight. He's been on Mashup, John Oliver's New York stand-up show. And then Ada Rodriguez, she's when Ada was a teenager, one of her relatives declared that she would end up as a top, up-and-coming comedian. She made it to the finals of NBC's Last Comic Standing. She's edgy. She's raw. She's in your face. And so I'm super excited. We got a star-studded lineup. All the ticket prices, everything that you've got to know, you can just be able to hit up the Showwear Center, call the box office, go on their website. We've got all the ingredients teamed up with those guys. Tickets are on sale right now, so you're going to want to get those tickets this weekend. Come out and support us. Also, our tickets for our big
Studio 110 launch party.
The big Studio 110 launch party. And those go, you're telling me that those go on sale tomorrow?
Yes.
Okay, we'll only have a limited number, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to want to get those. Do we know what time they go on or no?
Well, tomorrow I'm thinking they'll probably go on about 2.
Okay. 2 o'clock, they'll be able to go on. And once again, it's a limited number because we have a lot of VIPs. I guess there's a lot of surprises going down that I'm not even told. But what else do you got to say there?
But they have to go follow our Facebook page first in order to get access to those tickets.
And Instagram or just Facebook?
Facebook and Instagram.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So they need to go to our Studio110.live on Facebook and Instagram.
And Instagram. Yep.
Follow us on there, and then I know there's only a limited amount of tickets to purchase for this party that will be dinner table conversations for a long time. Just
there's also very exclusive events happening at this event, so just to let you guys know, we have a full stack of calendar that's built out for this event,
and multiple people working on it too. I mean, it's a big production around here. So
I actually have the calendar if we want to totally give it away. We're not going to give away everything, but should I tell them what's going on?
Yeah, we have 6 minutes. So if you want to do, I don't know the surprises personally, but let's leave the surprises out.
I'm not telling you the surprises.
But,
okay, so this is the actual Studio 110 launch party schedule.
Okay.
So we say that at 7:30 the party begins, and the note, it's a 21 plus event, so you'll be checked at the door and you must have your ticket confirmed. Then also in that hour we're gonna have the introducing Studio 110, Dirty Harry. 8 o'clock will be the speakers, so Dirty Harry, and then Ryan Conley, and then DC, the charity of Channel 8 TV. So we'll have that. Then we're also gonna have a few student speakers who are gonna be talking on behalf of how the charity has impacted their lives and kind of what they've done in association with it. And then also so that's going to be happening for about approximately an hour.
Okay.
And then at 9:10, I think I'm going to leave that one out because that one is that's one of our biggest things. I don't know, should I say it or should I not?
If it's a surprise, then leave it off. I don't know if it's a surprise, then if it's not a surprise.
It's so cool. I mean, it's listed in the studio launch party schedule.
Oh, well, then you can talk about it then. Go ahead.
Okay. So, guys, this has actually been a secret that we haven't really talked about because we were kind of waiting for the build out. But we paired with the glitched kind of cast, the host and the co-host, and they built out a high fidelity virtual reality version of Dirty Harry himself, duplicated, and he's full on action interactive. So you can literally put this virtual reality headset on and be Dirty Harry. It's so sick.
And what do they normally charge for stuff like this?
$10,000 to $15,000 for this.
Wow.
So the fact that they did this because they see how much progression our show has already, done so well, and considering the fact that we're just very well connected and you're very successful at what you do, and they see the potential of this show and where it's going and everything about it. So it's actually really cool that people are just wanting to be a part of the show because they know that once it takes off,
well, it's already taken off.
It is, but once it really, because hey, we haven't had our launch party yet. So
yeah, exactly.
So once our launch party hits off, then it's like.
And then shout out to DC. Didn't you also say that you've been working with DC and his crew? Is it he working on a big something like a presentation? Also, you mentioned DC.
So I didn't finish the schedule.
Okay.
So then DC will also, he's going to be releasing our commercial. So we have a Studio 110 commercial that we've been working really hard behind the scenes on.
Great.
As far as featuring our favorite not our favorite guys, just some of our exclusive guests.
Okay.
And it's just going to be really awesome that everything pulled together from what we've been doing here, and it's going to be really awesome. It's going to be really cool. We're going to have that projected, and then also we're going to have people trying on the virtual reality headset for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
So people will be able to try it on and see what it's about. And then at 9:40, we start up the fashion event. So that will be incorporated with about 3 to 4 different designers. I have not gotten the approved names yet because we have somebody completely working on the fashion event themselves. And then we are going to be getting the details once everything is finalized. But they are putting together the entire event.
This is a huge production
so it
where
is huge.
You just can't take all these responsibilities on by yourself. You have to build out a team to work with you and Julianne and the entire staff here to make sure that this is, an unforgettable, event.
Exactly. And that's why we have 7 co-hosts for the party. Because we have a lot of people working on this. And then, so at about 9:40, we have the fashion event. That's going to probably last, considering we put approximately less, 45 minutes. I would say 45 minutes, but that could go longer if more designers, because I've gotten messages, people wanting to incorporate their designs. We're like, okay, well, we got to make sure that everything goes within the time crunch, because we've got so much going on that I'm trying to really figure out how much, literally minute wise, how much every part is going to take. So then after that, we at 10:15 have a live performance by Studio 110 and C89.5's performances, The High Children. So they will be performing their new single hit, Hold On. And I'm literally obsessed with it. I keep telling C89.5 to keep playing it.
And you know that.
I'm like, can you keep playing that, please? Can you please keep playing it?
And that's my group. That's my group. They were here yesterday. They were here yesterday. They came by and visited me yesterday here in the studio.
Yep.
Big shout out to Jason and Jamal. That's my group, along with DJ Nasty Ness out of Los Angeles. So yeah, like I said, and then is there more? I know there's a lot more to the night.
So at 10:30, then DJ Penthouse will be performing, and then that's when really the whole. So I would say about 10 o'clock, 10:15 is when the night is really going to kick off, because we've got the performers from obviously the High Children, who are freaking talented. And then we've also got DJ Penthouse performing, which this is very interesting, guys, but they will be masked and their identities will not be revealed the entire night.
Wow.
So we will not know who these, actually, it's kind of funny. I forgot to tell you this, but I'm going to tell you this. I think it'd be kind of fun, because we like to let our listeners know that we kind of have, some behind the scenes secrets too.
Yes.
But we actually have to sign an NDA because we know who they are.
Yeah, that's fine. As long as the lawyers, review it and they approve it, that's totally fine. Then, did you say after that, then it turns into the official Dirty Harry after party?
Yes.
Okay.
So then the dance floor gets crazy, and then we have a dance floor mob party for our Studio 110.
Wow,
so
huge.
Yeah. So it's going to be wild.
It's going to be an unforgettable night. It's going to be dinner table conversation for weeks and months coming up. And I want to thank you, Erica, and the entire staff, you, Julianne, everybody that worked so hard here behind the scenes to make this an unforgettable event. So thank you for all your hard work. Good luck tonight with the big firefighter ball that you're attending. Tell those firemen that I said hello. Let's get some of those guys on the show here and talk about some experiences.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Yeah, let's get some of those firemen here on the show. I have a lot of friends who are Seattle firemen. And I do a lot of community service. I get on the fire truck and I go on 911 calls, and that's a Sunday off the air Dirty Harry endeavor that I enjoy doing as often as I can as time permits. But I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Happy 420 to you.
You as well.
And I want to thank all the guests that came by today: Guy Godfrey and Amber Joy and Sarah from Uncle Ike's and my buddy John, and of course you. It's been a great 420 show. And have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there, and we'll be back on with you on the audio-visual side. We always give you can see us, you can hear us, and follow us on our Instagram, studio110.live. Have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there, y'all.
Don't forget, tickets go on sale tomorrow at 2 o'clock.
There you go, and that's for the official
for our official Studio 110 launch party.
Studio110.live launch party. Come out, support us. You're not going to want to miss this. Limited tickets. Until then, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be checking in with you on social like we do all weekend. And Monday morning we're back out of here at headquarters, but Monday afternoon at 1 to 3 p.m. until we extend the show, 1 to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Have a wonderful rest of your afternoon. If you're on the West Coast, on the East Coast, you're already kicked off your weekend, and be safe out there, and I'll be talking to you again.
Can I say one thing
Sure.
before I say?
Yeah.
Stay tuned, because on Monday we have Talk It Up TV coming on. So that will be interesting. We're really excited to be working with them too. So
I know you have a lot of great guests on deck for next week. Music, fashion people, tech people. So.
We've got 2 press events that we have to attend to, and one that you're hosting.
Awesome.
So
well,
for the High Children.
I'm looking forward to that. So
Yeah.
have a wonderful weekend. Be safe out there. If you're traveling or you're just in your individual home, respected cities, whatever you guys are doing, be safe out there. And I'll be back at it doing what I do the best, on the air with my show producer, Erica, and the entire staff here at Studio 110. Have a wonderful weekend. We'll see you Monday afternoon, 1 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Good night, y'all.